Good evening, Priscilla, and everybody joining us on our green keto journey. It is Thursday, October the 19th. It is the evening of, obviously, since it's so dark in my car. And I'm just letting Betsy warm up, so I figured I'd give a quick shout out to you guys. And I have wanted really to talk about the fasting. I watched The Science of Fasting this weekend. I also watched Beyond Food. Which they were just amazing documentaries talking about how far we've come and where our bodies are now and what we really need. And what really struck me, and I've mentioned that I've never been a proponent of fasting. I always thought it was bad for you. And when they explained that, if you think about it, right now there's tribes in many countries. There's even people, even here, that fast. Certain Muslims fast for Ramadan, certain other cultures fast religiously, and there's some places where it is still feast or famine, which is how it used to be. We used to be a society where you had food for plenty. It was feast. You hunted, you raised crops or raised animals, or grew crops and raised animals. That was hilarious. And you ate them. But when wintertime came, it was a little bit less. But you were okay because you either had stores of food, but you also prepared and your body was prepared for you to go through the feast where you didn't have as much food. And your body has mechanisms that are automated, that automatically kick in. And the great thing that I learned that several doctors were talking about was when you fast, your body uses glycogen, which is sugar, okay? When you fast and stop eating, your body's going to use all of the glycogen out of your body first. Once it uses that, it's going to use protein. It's only going to use your protein for the first part of it, depending on how long you're going to fast. Once you go past a certain point, it's going to then start to use fat. And it's going to use your fat 3 times more than it's going to use your protein. And the protein will slowly come down to a point where it's just enough protein where it doesn't pull from your muscle, and it's way more fat, which feeds everything else. And your body can use fat to make glucose, which is what your brain needs. And I thought, shut the front door, man. Like, this is amazing. And I find it when people say when you fast or when you do certain things, your body's going to eat its muscle. Well, it depends on what you're doing, how long you're doing it, and what you're doing at the same time. One of the doctors was talking about how your body can heal itself when it's not worrying about digestion. When your body spends so many hours trying to digest what you eat, it has to spend energy putting out an enzyme if you eat carbs, an enzyme if you eat protein, a different enzyme if you eat vegetables, and it's what breaks down in your body. So you have a constant machine that's saying, okay, the stomach says, okay, we've eaten, this is what we've eaten. Send a message to this part of the body to do this. Send a message to this part of the body to do that. Then it's going to flow into your body, and it's going to say, we need this in the bloodstream. We need this in here, and the brain needs this part. And this digestion is happening, and it takes time, and it takes energy. And once you cut that part out, your body can then go in and say, okay, we've got fat around this particular thing and we need to get some of that off or repair it. I don't know if fat, that probably may not be the best example. I think it's more like, okay, so we have this cell that's damaged. We need to repair this cell. But because it spent so much time on your digestion, it could never repair the cell. So now it can repair the cell. And it goes around looking at this point for stuff that needs to be repaired and repairs it because it's not focused on digestion. And the longer you can fast, the more opportunity you give your body to not only repair damaged cells, but to also regenerate new cells. This means a healthier body, one that works much more efficient. They talked about arthritis, some autoimmune issues that were able to be cleared with fasting because the body had the opportunity to heal itself. I just was like, That's amazing. I always knew we were wonderfully made, right? But when you really think about what an automated system we have, and we have caused the damage to that system by what we're eating. And because we have a plethora of food, we're constantly eating. And everything you read says to eat more often and snack more often, even if it's smaller, which is not the best way for your body to really maintain. Now, this may not be true for everyone, but I definitely feel that for me and some of us who may have insulin resistance, or even some specific body types, that just may not be the best way to maintain your body. So I'm not one of those proponents that says everything works for everybody. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think if it works for you, and I think some things may be good for everybody, like fasting, I think may be something that everybody needs to incorporate into their journey of getting healthy. I think that may be one thing that everybody should think about. The Science of Fasting, amazing documentary. You definitely should watch it to see, to give yourself the knowledge of how your body works and what it can do. I'm telling you, it was amazing. Anyway, it's getting darker and darker as I sit here. I think Betsy's ready to go. I'm going to hit it and head home. As always, guys, please enjoy your journey.